some absentee ballots. Okay, that's a problem. So when we say voter fraud, you guys are just being so narrow-minded, right? Just like in Maricopa County in Arizona, they had adjudication that's through the roof. It's supposed to be like under 1%. It was at like 11% adjudication. If you don't know what adjudication is in voting, I implore you to go look on Google. I don't have time to explain everything, okay? But there's a lot of processes that are not good. And when you talk about election integrity, it seems like y'all don't give a fuck because Trump is talking about it. He's exposing something that I know exists because of where I'm from. We have voter fraud every fucking election. So I don't want to hear anything about there's no voter fraud. If y'all believe in the integrity of the system, you're silly as hell. That's all I want to say. Georgia stopped counting votes. We found that out. He addressed the nation about it, and you guys are saying he's trying to win. He can't win. They're not going to do anything about it. That's another thing that is being exposed right now. Even when we find out elections were fraudulently conducted, do they go back and change them? No, because you don't matter, and neither do I. We're just pawns. And if we work together, instead of like arguing about stupid shit, right? Like as community, we can make it farther like our grandparents did because they knew what was up. They knew that they had to help each other. The more we depend on the government to like govern us, right? We have a problem. And last thing I'm going to say, sorry. A lot of you Democrats, I'm a Democrat, by the way. I voted for Trump, but I'm a Democrat. But a lot of you Democrats are violent. When you don't agree, when someone doesn't agree with you, you start yelling and how you beat us up and shit. This is this is why I started going to the right. I don't want to be a part of people that slap people and throw water on them when they're asked about abortion rights. You guys are getting weird as fuck and violent, and you can't blame Trump no more for the way you're conducting yourselves. Thank you.
Yeah, that should be crazy. I really don't understand it. And we did watch and see and hear a speech being played or a conversation on a cell phone being played and somebody making another statement that wasn't accurate of exactly what was being said. I do agree with what Jasmine was saying. Voter fraud is real. It's not just about Trump either. Like she said, it's something that's prevalent in her where she lives, and it's like I don't know. It's like these things don't exist until Trump is in office. A lot of this shit is just like, oh my God, bro. Like figure out how to win with whoever is in office and stop bitching about dumbass shit that you have no control over. And if he does want to, focus on the voter fraud of his election that he lost or whatever, I don't see an issue with that. You know what I'm saying? It's not like other business ain't being handled. The things that y'all be bitching about, I just be so lost. And it'd be like, God damn, bro, like, just relax. But, like, that's kind of what drew me away from, like, the Democratic Party, I kind of, like, fuck with my people and everything, but y'all not really my people no more. Democratic Party it's full of nothing but immigrants and feminists that hate men and gay niggas. I can't relate to them people. So, and it's crazy because I'm not a Republican either. I'm an independent, but it's just like I align with some things that are, I guess, Republican because I guess I'm a nationalist and kind of person, and I do believe in God. I believe in certain things that I just can't go against. I don't like playing with my religion, and I know a lot of y'all in the Democratic Party don't believe in religion no more, or y'all just be playing in God's face, and it just be sad to me because it be like, damn, you don't really stand for nothing. You don't stand for any fucking thing. Everything is the fucking problem when y'all not in office. And then when y'all are in office, the fraud that is going on with the Democratic Party, they look over everything. And I be like, God damn, what the fuck? Like, I agree with Jasmine on that too. Both sides are corrupt. But it's one side that's exposing like, hey, look what I'm doing. Hey, everybody else be doing this shit. Even when Daniel was talking about, about the trading and shit, like, if anything, I would take that if it's people that you can see, every time he does his speech goes up or this changes, nigga, why aren't you taking advantage of that? If you can see it and it's prevalent in your face, why aren't you taking advantage of that? Like, y'all bitch about shit that you could take advantage of. There's plenty of stocks that I done made some money off of because of Trump. Why the fuck you can't do the same thing? I don't get it, man. I'll be on some retarded shit for real.
Somebody getting beat up by the Matrix.
Yeah, and I also want to put that I posted in my PTR my Democratic voters registration card that was just issued because we were redistricted. So there you go. I'm a Democrat. For those who don't believe me, I don't know why the fuck I would lie about that. There goes my voters registration card without my name because y'all not about to send shit pies to my house.
So in regards to the Republic, so I wanted to mention religion, and I just want to mention how, so I guess someone said that Democrats don't worship. I don't know who said it because I'm working as well, so I heard a voice, but I wasn't really sure who said it. But apparently, only Democrats don't believe in religion, but yet you have Republicans who mock the religion, who make a complete mockery of it, who turns religion into nationalism and then try to turn it into Christian nationalism, which is one of the problems of our nation in the first place. I am a very, 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 very God-fearing person, and I have nothing to fear because I have a being who's greater than anyone on this, every person on this app. So I have nothing to fear, and I find it really weird how a person is giving me an X simply because I said I believe in God.
God don't believe in you.
It's very weird.
Hey, that's not nice.
That is very weird. Child, don't know about it. That's the devil, child. That's the devil.
God does not believe in you, brother.
That is just the devil. That is just the devil. Mister, you mad about something? You must have been in my DM.
You the only one that's yelling, bro. I never was in your DMs.
Okay, so back to my topic.
Just because you playing like that, I'm about to unhash.
I interrupt you. Did I interrupt you, bitch?
Yep. I'm about to unhash your gay ass.
Come on,
I don't play
y'all.
them gay games.
So back to my
I don't even play them gay games.
Y'all, he's so
We can do
obsessed with
better than
He's
this.
so obsessed with me. I just wanna know.
Why you dying of AIDS? I just wanna know.
See, this is what I'm talking about. And someone said, why you gotta make it a race thing?
But I'm glad that I tried to stop him.
That was a mister. I was just giving my submission, and this bitch ass got off a mute.
See, the difference is I ain't yelling.
He got off a mute.
This
This
is where
bitch ass got off a mute.
race thing, man, because Daniel hopped on mic and he ain't say none of it. It was all calm and peaceful, man.
Well, are you crashing out as a black man?
I'm tired of hearing y'all fucking screaming and all this other bullshit.
Me too, Timothy.
Talk to the topic, man. That's what I'm saying. So if I gotta say that my black peoples are tweaking, and it's always my fucking peoples that's tweaking, I'ma say it.
You're wrong, though.
I'm not wrong.
You gotta be honest, bro. It's
You
only
gotta
one
be around
nigga.
the bad white people on this app.
I agree.
Coco, shut up. You the one he talking about.
He ain't talking about
You
you.
the only nigga that
Talking
gets
about
screaming, bro.
It sounded exactly like what he was talking about. He's the one she talking about. So stop it, all of y'all.
Yo, Pure, now you doing some black shit.
Right. So back to the 20.
Why are
It's
you,
only been one nigga
Speak to
screaming.
the topic, please.
everybody, let's
You
take a
mad?
breath.
Mister, you mad? Because I'm louder than you. But anywho, back to the topic. I believe that we can definitely, honestly, this is the most divisive in my life. A lot of y'all may on this stage may be a little bit more have a little bit more years under the belt, so y'all may have seen more than I have, especially on the political scope. But this is the most divisive that I have seen our nation. I believe Trump just addressed the nation last night, and even Republicans are like, "What the fuck is going on right now?" The mood of the speech was very divisive. Trump was basically just trying to lay up the groundwork for trying to make a claim of election interference. But you know, I believe in my nation. I believe that my nation is a very is very powerful. I believe that our nation can get over this speed bump of an administration. You know, but I am glad that this administration has happened because it pushes the challenges, the checks and balances of our branches. It pushes it by all means. Trump has literally basically challenged every single norm that we know of. Everything that Trump has done in this administration so far has been unprecedented. I've never heard the word unprecedented so much from an administration. And that's because Trump is pushing the boundaries. Trump is basically practicing his limits of power, and challenging his limits of power. I believe Trump just fired the three people who is basically in control of like helping states with federal elections, making sure that they have the funding for it, and making sure like if there's any issues or whatever. Basically, they oversee everything, and Trump just fired all of them. So there's currently not anyone who is overseeing the job that they do. And mind you, we are a couple of months away from midterms, and he does this right before midterms. Landing here, one of the Republican representatives from, I believe it's North Carolina, who has voted basically Republican everything, said that the SAVE Act is a fool, and it cannot and will not be implemented before elections. And if it is implemented before elections, it is going to bring more room for voter and election interference. Because basically he was saying that the things that the SAVE Act is trying to do, there's no way that we could, there's no way that all the states, you know, and on the federal level, there's no way that all those things can be implemented in less than 3 months. You know, midterms are coming up, you know. So I just say that, you know, people go out and vote, people practice your voice, your votes matter, or else they would not be trying to take it, you know, and use it. Oh, damn, I'm getting a plane flown on me because I said your votes matter. That's crazy. Wow, Jazzy, you want so you want me to be toxic? You want me to start cussing people out? Is that what you want me to do? Timothy, she said she want me to start yelling and shit. That's what she said.
No. Nobody heard me say a damn word. Just hurry up. Golly.
I said I landed down.
Okay, I just want to
land on a positive note.
Before you're done, I wanted to ask this because I brought up examples of voter fraud. When I say voter fraud, one second, in Florida, and I also brought up how Georgia stopped counting ballots, right? Which is why Trump said what he said. He said, I believe I have multiple 11,900 whatever votes, right? He said he believed he had that times 2 or 3. The point I'm trying to make to you is none of you have addressed the voter fraud that happens in the country. You keep talking about Trump. When Trump is the one that delivered to you on a platter the voter fraud, it seems like you don't care. And I'm saying this sincerely. I'm not being funny. I'm not trying. This is not a one-up. When are one of you going to address the actual voter fraud that happens? We don't care that Trump lost. After this term, he can never run again. Thank God. So y'all could shut up. But I'm asking, do you all genuinely care about integrity? Or do you only care about it when it's in your favor? Genuine question.
So do we care that Elon just bought this last election?
Oh shit! Now here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
See, I was going there.
Oh shit! Now
you kept on throwing up the dirt, so here we go.
no, there's no throwing up dirt. You're not. Yo, Himothy, can you make one of them answer the question?
Let me record.
Can you force them to answer the question?
Jazzy disproves her point when Dale
Thank you.
Dale came off the mic and everything but solving the issue of fraud.
Pure, we don't care about Elon Musk.
Well, wait. Oh, so you don't care about Elon Musk?
I want to speak on
He's
one of
been
Jazzy's
disposed by
points.
Trump. Trump saw the fraud he was.
I didn't interrupt you, ma'am.
You're not answering the question.
Ma'am, I am answering your question.
What's the answer?
Because I'm not answering it the way you want me to.
You're bringing up Elon Musk.
Go on mute, please.
No.
Yes. It's my
Answer.
turn to talk. Hey.
Answer.
I don't want no smoke now.
Answer.
Because then when you try to respond, you don't want me to go chimpanzee.
Okay, Matt. Like should I give up too?
Yeah, I gave up.
Okay, I give up. I give up.
Let me respond to what I want to respond. Okay. So, do we care that Elon just purchased this whole election for Trump, where there was a whole county, I think in northeastern, I don't know exactly which state it was.
Yo, Matt, I'm not doing this, bro. I'm about to crash the fuck out. I ain't gonna lie. I'm about to crash the fuck out.
No,
I'm not gonna.
Because there's no questions being answered on a topic, and this lets me know all of you are the problem with the country. You and Donald fucking Trump. Fuck all of y'all. No, listen. Fuck you and Trump.
Fucking cry because you're not a part of the administration. Oh my God, this is all about the one America. How can we have this and how can we have that? Go cry in a fucking ditch. We have election fraud.
You mad because I'm not answering it the way you
God,
No, I'm mad because you're not answering the question at all.
My turn to speak, ma'am.
Good morning, guys.
I ain't got to. I can get off here
Where the hell have you been?
So, I can come on here and make my own statement. And
I understand, but do you not understand what you guys are doing? You're pushing Democrats to the right with this attitude.
I do not have to acknowledge.
You're pushing us to the right with this attitude. This is stupid. What about the fucking voter fraud?
I'm going to reclaim my time once you mute up.
Yeah, but please don't talk about Elon
I'm going
Musk.
to talk about whatever I care to talk about.
Yeah, but I'm asking you a specific. Just say you don't want to answer the question because it don't have nothing to do with Trump. The question is, let me reiterate the question.
It's my turn to speak.
Yeah, but someone asked what's the question.
I'm going to answer the question.
I'm going to repeat the question because they don't know the question. So the question is, I literally laid it on the table, all the voter fraud that happens, not only in the state of Florida, where I live, all the time, right? I also asked about why Georgia stopped counting ballots.
Georgia
Right,
did
I
not
talked
stop
about-
counting ballots.
One second. I talked about how Georgia,
She don't get to drive the car, though. Nobody gets to
Right,
drive
Georgia didn't even stop counting ballots, but okay.
yes, they did.
Okay, I'll let you finish it then.
Thank you.
I'm driving.
They stopped counting ballots, and now they're lying, saying it has to do with the hand count versus machine. That's never what it was about. They stopped counting fucking ballots because Trump was about to win the fucking state.
Okay.
And you know what? I don't care what side you're on, right? Of course you're gonna jump for joy. I jumped for joy when Trump won, even though he lost the popular vote. I was like, oh shit, this country's fucked up, right? So I'm asking you, right? What say you about the voter fraud? And this motherfucker bring up Elon Musk.
So to answer your question,
What the
Jazzy,
fuck?
just really quick. So
Whoa,
in regards to
Pump your fucking
Georgia,
brakes.
In regards to
So wait,
Georgia,
it's my turn, Coco.
oh my bad. My bad. My bad, Corey.
It's okay. I got you. I'm gonna hand the mic right to you. First of all, the state that I was liaison to all of the elected officials, the county was Broward, and I worked those fucking machines. So am I aware of the fraud? Yes. I don't live there anymore. I haven't lived there since 2017, but I lived there from 93 to 2017. So I'm very, very well aware. I lived there through all the fucking hanging chads. I lived there through all the fucking machines we had to go and fix. I was one of the people that troubleshot the machines. So yeah, I'm fucking aware. Right there in Florida, Broward County. Now, as I was saying, there is, if you look at the way elections are won, right? This is the first time in a long time there has been a Republican for only one term. Go back, maybe like 40, 45 years. It's usually Democrat 2 terms, Republican 2 terms, Democrat 2 terms, Republican 2 terms. Until now, in terms of the presidency. So, yeah, there's something definitely not clean in the water. There probably wasn't something clean in the water then because Trump was ready for his second term and he didn't get it. So, yeah, there probably was something fishy going on. But that's not to say that there wasn't something fishy going on in this term where freaking there was a whole county that was traditionally Democrat, and it wasn't not one fucking Democratic vote. When you cheat on a fucking test, you gotta at least get some of the bitches wrong. But no, Elon bought all them motherfucking votes. So to sit up here and cry about whether or not there was voter fraud, it's voter fraud every fucking year. It's always set up. These people are appointed. They are not elected, unfortunately. We don't have a democracy. We haven't had a democracy for a long fucking time. So why are we even wasting our time with this conversation? Shit.
So, to answer Jazzy, first I just wanted to say that being in Florida, which has been a Republican state for God knows how long, it's not surprising that you would experience voter fraud on a local level being in a Republican state.
I'm not in a Republican state.
You are in a Republican
Locally,
state.
we're Democrat, you dumbass.
No, baby.
Locally, we're Democrat.
Who was your governor?
Locally, we're Democrat.
Who was your
You can't talk about local elections and say Republicans. We're locally Democrat.
Jazzy, why?
You're wrong.
Why are you yelling?
You're wrong.
You mad when I was
You're
yelling.
wrong.
Now you yelling.
You're
You
wrong.
mad when I was yelling, but now you yelling.
You're wrong.
I'm yelling right now.
You're wrong.
One mic on Coco.
So all I'm going to say is
Go take your medication, Jasmine. Damn it.
It doesn't surprise me that on a local level, Florida would be experiencing some type.
Because we're Republican?
But no. I just
You sound so silly.
I just thought I should throw that in there,
You're wrong, though.
As a jab. But on a federal level, federal elections are a little bit harder to interfere with. Not saying that it can't. And not saying that it hasn't.
Man.
Not saying that it hasn't happened either. But all I'm going to say is it's a little bit more complex, which is why the current administration is trying to centralize voting into where, like, the administrative branch will have more say-so instead of states instead of the power being in the states. Now the administrative branch is trying to centralize it and have a lot of the power be at the executive branch in regards to federal elections, which is absolutely against our own.
It's not against anything. It's not against shit.
Yes, it is.
What is it
in
against?
regards to Georgia. Damn, Daddy, bro, you.
What is it against?
Jesus. Who Jesus?
Let's have a conversation. What is it against?
Jazzy, I'm going to finish my fucking point and write it down. Write your point Georgia, they did not stop counting any votes. What happened in Georgia, so basically in Georgia did not stop counting votes statewide. What happened was in Fulton County, whenever they had experienced that damn fucking leak, whatever the fuck, at the arena where the votes were being counted and all this stuff, some of the workers left, but other workers stayed to still process the votes because they had to repair it and all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. So because workers left, but other workers stayed to still process the votes, Trump tried to argue that it was like, that it like resulted in like fraudulent counting. So what happened after that was Georgia officials literally had to investigate those claims. They concluded, and they concluded that there was no evidence that of any the counting was illegal or that it changed the election outcome. So basically what Trump was trying to say was because some people stayed to count the votes and then others left, it's a more chance that it was counting or whatever have you. And so after a full audit and a machine recount and certified results, the Georgia officials concluded that
you reading from Google.
Oh my God, Jazzy, girl.
You reading from Google.
Girl. I'm not reading from Google, bitch. I wrote this shit the fuck down because we've been.
You wrote it down from where?
What the bitch? I have a fucking notebook. Do you not write on
down
notebook?
From like your brain?
Do you not write on notebook? Do you not write on notebook?
A bitch.
Do you not write on the bitch? You. The fuck? Who the fuck off?
No. Now you a bitch. Anyways.
Coco, I'm sorry. I ain't mean to get you dropped. Can you bring them back up?
Let's not be calling her bitches, Coco.
He used to chillism. They let gay men call women bitches and chillism.
Yeah, not here.
Yeah. It's okay. That was diabolical to allow people and lie.
Hello?
Who can close calling no motherfucker?
It's not wrong with saying motherfucker.
You knew.
She's not new. She's not new, Coco.
I didn't say new for this room. New to me. Who me?
And Pierre, how we supposed to know you gay?
Hello? Did I say anything about being gay?
She said we can call gay women motherfucker. How am I supposed to know that?
I said,
I'm sorry. I just said gay women. I'm supposed to know.
My bad. I didn't know who was talking to me. So whoever I called a bitch, I didn't mean to call you no bitch on purpose. It's because Jazzy.
You did mean to call me a bitch.
The bitch was meant for Jazzy. So not whoever asked, not for you, Miss, whatever your name is.
Mr. Groot, you can't read? Mr.
All I see is Mr. T.
The Groot.
Let's not call you a bitch. We can continue.
Well, how about you put a muzzle on Jazzy and then maybe I won't.
No, how about we put a muzzle on the real dog? The real
you
dog.
the one looking in the mirror? Who you? Oh, okay.
Who let the dogs out?
I just want to say this, and I just want to be done. Like Christian Lamar in the chat said, someone who works in politics, by the way, a pipe was leaking when they were supposed to be counting the votes, so they couldn't count them. You guys are forgetting that part.
Did I not just say a leak? Did I not just say a leak?
Yeah, but what I'm trying to tell you is, hold on 1 second. You're justifying a pipe leaking for them to not count votes.
People were still counting.
No, they weren't.
Did y'all hear what I just said?
They
That was the whole thing that Trump was trying to say.
Come on, let's have
That
a
was the whole reason that
conversation.
Trump was trying to say it was fraudulent.
Coco, let's have a conversation.
Still left, Jazzy.
Coco, let's have a conversation. That's not what happened.
That's right. Okay, all right.
Why do you think? So let's use a little bit of logic.
Okay, girl.
They kept counting. They kept counting, but Trump wanted them to count votes that didn't exist.
Oh my God,
Hold on, no. Listen to me, Coco. Listen. If they counted all the votes, Trump is definitely a criminal for trying to make them bring up ballots that don't exist. Right? They stopped counting, which is why he said, God damn it, I know I got 12,000 more votes in them fucking ballots y'all didn't count.
There was no statewide.
Yo, hello, please.
There was no statewide poll.
Please.
County vote.
Please,
That's what you're
Coco,
trying
you
to
just spoke for
allude to.
15
And that's
minutes.
not what happened, Dazzy.
Yo, that's exactly what
That
happened.
is not what happened.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I'm gonna deal with you like I deal with my son.
No, it's
I'm
not.
about to go get
And I'm
the
gonna
belt.
do like I do everybody else. No, it's
I'm
not.
gonna go get the belt.
Okay.
Because I told you that that's what it is. That's what it
And I
is.
told you that it's not. So now what?
You might like it.
What I said is what goes. Now, let me just, I'm gonna land right here, bro.
No, I think you should get the belt. Really, you should.
I don't know if Pure bought up Broward County or not, right? Did you, Pure?
Yeah, I did.
I live in Broward County, historically Democrat county, correct?
Indeed.
Okay. Voter fraud through the roof, correct?
Indeed.
Let's put the point that out for Coco, right? Oh, you live in a fucking in a Republican state, and all the Democrats doing the damn fraud. So what does it matter? You guys are deranged. You're deranged. And what I'm trying to tell you is lose that derangement so you can get. Remember, Coco, I proved to you that Donald Trump was the reason your bridge got rebuilt. He sent out people to come assess it when the Democrats said, fuck them broke ass black people and fuck their bridge. Right? Right?
What happened to Debbie Wasserman Schultz? I read that she was in a little hot water. Did she ever get out of that?
Yeah, and then she tried to run for something last year, something else. I don't think she won. I have to look it up, but I knew not to vote for her because of all this shit she's done. So that's all I'm trying to say, Pure. If y'all willing to call out Trump, why y'all not willing to call out nobody else? Everybody else gets to do fraud. They get to steal USAID money. They get to do all this shit and y'all don't care.
I think because it's so vast and all the things that he's doing, and because it's not a conflict of interest, but it is. And then the taxes thing, they don't have to pay anymore, and him suing, and it's just.
I wasn't done though. I wasn't done.
Okay, go ahead, love.
So, real quick, I wanted to say, because before you said that, Daniel in the chat said, what does it matter? And this is the fucking shit I'm talking about. What does it matter? Oh, just let everybody else do fraud and let Trump be the downfall of all the... no, that's not how life works, and I don't want to perpetuate a society where 99 people can commit a crime, but only one is guilty. Fuck no. All 100 of them motherfuckers are guilty. And the fact that y'all don't have that mentality is bothering me. It lets me know that there's no real justice. This is vigilante shit y'all on. This some gangster shit y'all on.
Jasmine, I think the difference.
No, y'all are gangsters. And let's just be honest. You're not gonna make me feel bad. You're not gonna make. No, you're a gangster. Because y'all are calling me a bully. Y'all are calling me a bully for believing the truth. And y'all are using your feelings to try to back me in a fucking corner.
No.
And it's not gonna work.
Personally,
It's not gonna work.
Okay, we're not gonna. Everybody back off. Don't back her into the corner anymore. I think the issue is that on some politicians and presidencies, they have, let's say, 6 counts of fraud, while Trump has 46 counts of fraud. I think that's the issue.
You're wrong, though. How much fraud does Hillary Clinton have that she hasn't been charged for? Have you forgotten she got niggas killed in Benghazi? This is what I'm trying to say. Stop ignoring what other people do that they haven't went to court for. But she never went to court for her fraud.
So I have to say, this is like where the what about.
God damn.
Yeah, so this is where I can see both sides of the fence, right? Because what ends up happening is we go into these whataboutisms, and this is where it's like, well, it's not like what you're saying is wrong, but it's ironic that you're pissed off about it now, but you weren't pissed off about it when, X, Y, and Z took place. I can absolutely say, and I do believe Jasmine agrees, and Matt, you're going to probably stone me for this, Donald Trump has probably been involved with fucking fraud. Oh, and here's the thing, it's not an oh well, it's a okay, what do we do about it? right? Now there was voter
We
fraud
stormed the
issues.
motherfucking Capitol.
Right.
Jesus.
Okay, hold on.
She said right.
Well, I didn't
Yeah.
think about that one.
Yeah, let's go.
Right. Wait.
Let's
what?
go. Wake up.
Retract. But I think that the problem is this, right? And guys, correct me if I'm wrong. The issue isn't that voter fraud is being addressed. The issue is that it's Donald Trump being addressed. That's addressing it.
No.
Okay.
That's what it feels
They
like.
won't admit it, but yes, right there, yes.
That's what it feels
Hey,
like.
let me exactly.
It's not just.
And Christian's trying to get back in the queue after he wrote it in the chat.
Super quick, Pure, I think it's bullshit that Elon Musk was a part of influencing an entire county. I don't like that anybody with any money can influence. I don't like that anyone can influence the richest person in the world to win an election. Objectively, that is a problem, and I feel like we should be able to acknowledge that regardless of what political party is doing it. There we go. See, there we go.
Right now, there's a catch to that, what you just stated.
Right now.
You have a catch to that, because when Elon Musk was like pushing for Democrats, they were okay with it. When George Soros, so that Bill Gates.
What makes you think we were okay with it?
Okay, so again,
What makes
you were okay with it. You were okay with it. You still are okay with
That's not true.
it. You absolutely are. You are absolutely today.
Okay. So
You are.
You made Rydell, concede to
Hold
your
on,
point,
Jazzy.
but
So
you don't
again, I can
concede to
prove that
us,
your guys are.
motherfucker.
Hold on, dude. I was talking, Jazzy.
Okay, go ahead, Brad.
So there are billionaires that currently are influencing local politics and changes, funding campaigns. There are literally PAC committees that are ran by billionaires and slush funders. In fact, I believe there's a Supreme Court justice who's was accused of sexual deviancy, who had someone come forward, and we had to watch this whole air out on a TV, held by the same Action PAC committee that's funded by one of the Democrat donors, that's a billionaire, that literally does these things on a regular basis.
Is there
If you think right now that Soros is in the Soros campaign and the funds that are contributed through him, and they're trying to influence elections locally, you are sadly mistaken. Either that, or you're cheering it on because you're like, my side. It's okay for my side. What is it? The guy who runs fucking Starbucks?
Side, Brad.
You apparently do, because the only person you call out is, and I've listened to this, you've called out Trump. You said, oh, he does 46 counts. Where in the USAID did he steal from? Wait. Where in USAID did he steal funds from? Because I believe he ended it. So if all of that money was being solicited, funded off, sloughed off, yes, some of it went to good. So most of it fucking went through NGOs, and then they hit it into soft power, and we needed to learn about lizards running treadmills. All of that stuff was factually true. Well, okay, so then who profited the most? Who does a lot of these? And you make a lot of conveniences and a lot of excuses, but you even don't know where the operations come from. You made a lot of CIA connections, which is just absurd because the CIA doesn't operate that way. But overall, you said a whole bunch of shit, and all of that money you are pissed off about for no other reason than the fact someone told you. But you're not upset over, the plethora of other people who got rich. Why don't you tell me how Maxine Waters obtained her wealth? How Nancy Pelosi? How any number of them? Pick them up and tell me where they got their wealth from. How did they start off? At some point you have to realize, maybe I'm not mad at them. Maybe I'm just mad at the fact that he's slapping me in the face with the bullshit that I'm swallowing for fucking decades.
And that's my
Damn, that was a good point.
It was, and that's why I had brought up. It's the issue has always been there, but now everyone's pissed off because Donald Trump is now doing it, and it's never been. We've never had this conversation prior. This conversation wasn't happening during Joe Biden. This conversation wasn't happening during Barack Obama. This conversation wasn't happening during the Bushes, right? At both sides, right? Not to just separate one from the other.
Brad can tell you. Come on now.
Not to
Girl, if you do not go hard
we went back and forth.
for nobody but Trump, that's it.
Now y'all sounding like y'all are whining.
And I am wham.
Like I said, it's just the juxtaposition of offenses. And it is Trump's turn to be every year somebody is in the fucking hot seat. This year it's Trump.
Why don't you put people in a hot seat that deserve to be there, like the fucking chair of the Federal Reserve?
We have played.
Because y'all don't know shit. You only know one man. You don't know nobody else. You don't know Jerome Powell. You don't know Pete Hegseth.
We have
You don't know Marco Rubio.
Atrocities. Y'all are just a little sensitive because Trump is your boy. I don't have a dumb.
I'm sensitive because y'all are ruining the country with your dumb ideologies and not knowing anything more than the president. You don't know who runs these systems. You don't, because if you did, you would be mad at a plethora of people other than Donald Trump.
That's what I just said.
No, you did not just say that. You don't give a fuck.
Earlier. I said
Girl,
that earlier.
let's be honest. You said that the president has the highest power in the world. The president can't even stop them from shutting the country down. He can't even stop the cost of housing from rising. He has no say-so in the finances of this country.
But don't try to take him out of the hot seat.
I'm not taking him out of the hot seat. I'm trying to get you to add more hot seats.
Has done.
Add more hot seats. It's a billion bitches that need to be sitting in fire. And y'all are willing to ignore it while the world burns down. While the world burns down, you're blaming one man and the other people are setting small fires.
Okay.
I don't get it.
Okay. So back to the fraud or the stolen elections. Okay. I'm just going to use this as an example because it kind of shows how difficult it is to even explain any of this the average person. So most people will just stop paying attention after the first 5 or 10 seconds that you've even begun explaining it. In Arizona, there's a specific part of the state law that is specifically written for signature verification. What actually occurred, and it actually happened in 3 election years. It happened in 2018, 2020, and 2022. The process of signature verification was skipped or thwarted to a point where it basically changed the outcome of the election. It basically built let's just call it a system of levels where you have a first level reviewer, then you have a second level review, and then you have manager review. So what would happen is you'd have the first level say, well, this signature doesn't match. It doesn't match what's on file. We don't have a signature on file. The vote doesn't count. Then you'll have a second level reviewer say, well, yeah, there's nothing here, so no, the vote's not going to count. The manager review was overriding the first 2 levels of signature review or signature verification. And then on top of all of that, so that's one thing that happened through 3 different presidential election years. And you keep in mind, the election in those particular years were really, it was really close, at least for 2020 and 2022. It was very close. We're talking a matter of 10,000 or 20 or 30,000 votes, a small amount of votes. Then the county, for several years, the Maricopa County specifically, so I'm not talking about some random county in Arizona. No, I'm talking about Maricopa County. In Maricopa County, they were allowing people to be registered to vote who should not have been registered to vote. And when the news first came out, the number was 100,000 voters. Then after all of the news outlets and even the mainstream news came out with it, Maricopa County came out and said, okay, we'll admit it. There were 50,000 people who shouldn't have been registered to vote. And so you had 50,000 people who received ballots and who voted in the election, and they should not have been allowed to vote through 3 election cycles. But the reason I'm bringing all this up is when you try to explain all of this to people, they're just going to stop listening after the first 5 or 10 seconds. And then they're going to say, well, there's no evidence of fraud and the election wasn't stolen. But then when you have somebody like me say, well, wait a minute, I actually was behind the scenes looking at the signatures. I can validate and vouch and verify that there were signatures that were submitted that should not have been counted. And I can substantiate a whole bunch of other things, like how you don't have a matching address, or you don't have, or you didn't submit matching documentary proof of citizenship. And so I actually saw these things myself. And then I'll even bring up something else. In 2020, when all that stuff was going down, they had surveillance outside the main election center downtown Phoenix. There was only one camera that was pointed at the direction of where ballots were being dropped off, so you could see somebody dropping off 20 ballots and 30 ballots and 50 ballots. But here's the problem. They blocked the camera from being seen while all of that was going on. So I mean, and then I can bring up something else. Then during one of the off-election years, this was I believe this was in 2019. Yes, it was 2019. So in 2019, I was voting right down the street from pretty much from where I am now, and I watched multiple people come in with stacks of ballots in their hand. They were not election workers. They were not members of the Postal Service. They were not anybody that was authorized by law to come in and drop off stacks of ballots in their hands. And I'm talking like 20 to 30 to 40 ballots in their hands, dropping them off in the receptacle. So I don't think, like, as much as people want to swear up and down that there was nothing that occurred or there was a free and fair election, I'm sorry. I mean, unless you were actually here, can you actually speak to any of this? And then I'll give you one last thing, and then I'll shut up. In the Kerry Lake trial, Maricopa County admitted that they did not have to spend more than 1 second verifying each signature. So when they had a signature to do what I talked about, where you have to have, level 1, level 2, and then manager review, Maricopa County said, well, the law, as it's written, doesn't require us to spend more than 1 second on each signature. So that's how you can have over, let's say, 200,000, which it was, 200,000 ballot signatures that were failed, that had 5 days to be reviewed, and you're telling the public and the world that you verified 200,000 ballots in 5 days, that you contacted 200,000, you went through 200,000 ballots in 5 days. That is mathematically and statistically impossible, because most voters don't even have a phone number on file. Right. That means that you have to go house by house in order to even get those ballots verified. So again, when somebody says that there was no evidence of election fraud, the election wasn't stolen, you don't know, you weren't here.
By the way, just real quick. Christian's probably not lying because it ended up in Georgia, Fulton County, they actually had to come out and admit that they allowed 315,000 signatures to pass through that should have been validated. You know about that, Christian, right? Obviously, or no?
I know that Georgia had something very similar. I didn't know the number was 300.
Yeah, they had a whole trial on it, and they had to come out and admit it that they let that go through. You can look it up. It's incredible.
Man, I want to say this. Last time I voted for Ron DeSantis, I went to vote. Someone was telling me, like, oh, this is the last day to vote. Go vote. So I didn't have my ID or anything. The precinct where I vote, the lady was like, oh, where's your ID? I was like, I don't have it. She just asked me for my name, my address, and she gave me a ballot. And I went and voted. I could have been anyone. Also, I want to say this. If you guys think that you don't have to prove citizenship to vote or register to vote, you're an idiot. So I'm arguing with Daniel in the chat. He told me that a bill that the Florida governor signed into law is not law because it's a bill. Well, he signed it into law. It's effective January 2027. It's a bill that now, in order to register to vote, you have to prove citizenship before you get a registration. Okay, we have felons that can't vote, right? So you mean to tell me someone who doesn't even have to prove their citizenship should be able to vote? No, I need my ID to get on the plane. Okay, you should need your ID to vote. You should have to prove that you live here to vote. So when y'all say it's not voter fraud, Daniel's telling me the data says that there's not a problem with non-citizens voting. Well, in California, all you need to vote is an ID. And California is one of the many states that give non-citizens driver's licenses, right? So if you have a driver's license with the California address and you go to register to vote and they give you voter's registration, that is fraud if you're not a citizen. But you guys are going to say that's not fraud because they have an ID. No, you don't have to be a citizen to get an ID or a driver's license. Okay? These are fraudulent things. I don't care if it's Trump or whoever. We should not accept people that do not pay their dues in this country to vote. You want to know why? You cannot go vote in England. You can't go vote in Scotland, Switzerland, because you're not a fucking citizen. So why do y'all want this country to just be overthrown by weird-ass fucking non-citizens and weird leftist, tranny-loving Democrats?
Oh my God, she's obsessed.
I don't get it. And this is the last thing I'm going to say, because Christian said a lot.
I don't believe it.
I brought up Maricopa County earlier on purpose. He didn't even talk about the adjudication, where adjudication is where, I didn't want to tell you guys, but I'll tell you. Adjudication is where I don't know what you intended to fill out on your ballot, right? We have incomplete circles or incomplete markings on your ballot. I go in and say what I think you want it to put. That is supposed to be below 1%. It was at like 11%. Right? When that happens, there should be an initial audit immediately, right? You cannot have over 1% of ballots that are being decided by some fucking random poll worker. Oh, I think you meant to put this, right? There's no real checks and balances, and y'all are just telling me right now, I'm gonna tell you what I hear. We don't care about any other politician committing fraud except Donald Trump. We don't care about election integrity when Donald Trump is bringing it up. We don't care about our country, care about immigrants. Care about eggs being $8 and Trump bringing them down. We care fixing shit he can't fit. I'm so fucking done with y'all. I am so fucking done. I'm staying here because I'm bored today. I promise you, I'm done with a lot of y'all. I'm looking at you differently. All those degrees you have for nothing. You're stupid as the fuck. And Daniel, you keep trying to prove with data manipulated. I don't care manipulated. It's going to say whatever these people want it to say. Like Trump ruining the economy when Jerome Powell ruined the economy. He's not going to get no vote, though. You know what? His name's than the Epstein files. And I land.
Thank God. I love how nobody ever discusses Trump fraud. Discusses fraud when Trump wins. When Trump wins, no conservatives ever seem to have an issue with fraud.
He lost to Hillary Clinton. He won.
But there's the reason why. The reason why people are, when you talk about how Democrats, are doing all this shit, it's because y'all discussing this with bad faith. Because if you were genuinely concerned about election integrity, you keep that same energy when Trump wins. But you don't ever do that. So it's really weird, and it's a projection.
I did. You just weren't here.
To be putting on. Hold on now. Chill, Bill. Take a Zanny. You don't keep that same energy when Trump wins. That's why no Democrats are going to take you seriously, because this has been litigated.
I am a Democrat.
Lawsuits.
I was going to say, so JJ, I'm
a Democrat.
Trump has committed fraud with cryptocurrency ventures. I'll say it right now. I believe, like what he has made with his cryptocurrency, Trump has committed fraud.
Yes.
I believe that his foreign business ties and a lot of they violate a lot of the pledges that we have against foreign government deals. I can absolutely say that, and I'm not happy with what happened with the IRS. I believe that's absolute bullshit, and he's absolutely hiding from that. I absolutely believe it's 100% bullshit. As a Republican,
I'm a
so I want to have the conversation.
Well, we shouldn't have to say that. That's like saying, oh, do you condemn Hamas? Like, I'm talking about the fucking fate of the country, and you want me to suck your dick and bite you.
I actually never.
I just wanted to say
I don't think he wants to do this.
But
I know you're right. He wanted this guy talking into it.
I'm looking for a female poll worker in Indiana. Some poll workers out in that area of the country. I'm headed to Indiana. Wanted to discuss some voter fraud, and I was looking for a poll worker. You can inbox me, let me know, female poll worker in Indiana.
What about a male poll worker? Why does it have to be a female poll worker?
I just want to quickly address with Jay. JJ, I do.
I got something. Hold on.
Go ahead, Blake.
I got some report. Dr. Jazzy, do I gotta get on your bad side to get talked to like that? I'm just saying.
Yo, oh my God.
No, I'll do it later. Let right there go.
Jesus, take the wheel. Okay, so JJ, so I just want to, like I said, I hear you, and this is why when we have these conversations, I think that it is important that when we're talking about two different parties, that both parties can admit problems within their party, so that we can have a general conversation about objective issues in the country, right? So I do want you to know there are many Republicans like myself. I'll be honest with you, I'm not happy with him. And Matt knows this. I, every single day, have questioned if I want to become a registered independent, because the Republican Party as it is today is not the Republican Party that I grew up with, and I don't stand with a lot of things that are happening. And that is also happening within this country. This has, since COVID, this country is rattled in terms of titles, party alignment, things that are happening international. Like, I'm not happy with the war that is taking place, and very minimal with what I speak about because of what my husband does for work, whatever, right? That there are real people that have issues, but what I don't want to take away is the ability to have a proper conversation and discord about issues regardless of who the president is.
And you know what? I'm absolutely with you on that. I can respect you because I can see that you're coming from a principled place. The problem with this
Jazzy? Just say it.
Please don't overcensor yourself.
Because ain't nobody else talking but me since you've been in here.
No, but what I'm saying is, I'll say with that perspective that, certain people who are really inconsequential to me, like to propagate, is that it's coming from a bad faith place. And the reason why is this only seems to come up when Trump brings it up when he loses, right? Because if we really want to talk about comprehensive election integrity reform, we can talk about the fact that we can literally give every citizen of this country a free ID.
That's up to your state.
No, well, what
those
I'm
are
saying
state
is,
laws. That's not federal law.
Right. What I'm saying is, if this is such a, a constitutional issue, Trump is here talking about, well, we don't have a nation, we don't have what do you call it, IDs, then we don't have a nation. Well, then you know what? Come up out that budget.
He can't.
We have the
Congress controls the budget.
So right,
that's up to
Congress controls the budget.
They always control the budget.
This motherfucker is spending all the money. Building.
What money did he spend?
What? Taking us to war, spending all that money, taking us to war. When you
Congress has to approve that money.
$300 million on a fucking ballroom.
Yes, that's money already been appropriated throughout the fiscal year. Right now, can you explain this to them?
I'm going to explain it to you. Hold on. The
Can you explain
president does not have the ability to take money from one pool that's been allocated and dump it into another. Congress has to approve those. That is literally how our finances. So you can zip it for a minute.
Yeah, keep for every day.
You can zip it for a minute.
The same
Okay, so again, we'll just go through this.
Don't worry.
Thank you, Brad. No, let Brad explain to you how the fucking country works, you immigrant.
That is how it's supposed to work.
Shut the fuck up. Now you're wrong here, bro.
Not like that. But you're lawless.
I am xenophobic. Do something about it.
So if we're gonna fight, we can fight. Like I can do this.
Xenophobic shit.
Girl, y'all are mean to me. They've been calling me stupid fat bitches in the chat. Can you read? I'm gonna say what the fuck I want.
Okay, so we can go this. All right. So you want to make fun of one of our Americans?
Please shut up.
We could do this. All right. So for you dirt dancers and North American pavement apes and the orangutans that swam over to the country last week, and now you want to sit there and pack up on an American woman. Well, why don't you try the men? Because most of us American men really don't give a fuck about you. We would smack your asses back to whatever mud hut you crawled out of. So at the end of this day, we can sit there and say, President doesn't determine where those funds go. Congress does. That's why you get fucking states getting money, and it gets appropriated here, and it gets appropriated there, and allocated here, and done in various ways. Now, he can go to Congress and say, hey, I don't want to send that money there for X, Y, and Z, and he can ask them to reappropriate it, which does happen on time to time. However, he has a limited fund, and he can only use certain funds for certain activities. As far as the conflict in Iran, Congress has to approve that. They have to approve the funding of that. So, in essence, Congress has sat there and said, here you go have fun. And that's your problem. If you're pissed off about it, you're bitching at Trump, who doesn't hold the purse. It's actually your congressional reps. Go bitch at them and say, hey, go look at their voting records, and then say, hey, why did you vote on A, B, and C? And then go on TV and say, oh, blah, 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 because you voted yes. Like, you're not that dumb. I'm assuming you figured out how to work an iPhone or a fucking whatever, a Huawei Chinese knockoff. So figure out how to fucking read who does what in Congress.
It's annoying because they're trying to say that Trump did this and he did that. No, he cannot steal money without using it. If so, trust me, they will be on his ass. And you'll be the first person to know. So the craziest part about it all, like I said, the people that control the money problems we have, you don't even know their names. You don't even know their names. Right? So just read a little bit before y'all come up here looking stupid. Now, I wanted to say something to JJ.
Yeah, please.
I thought it was funny. Before JJ came in here, I literally said Trump was a grifter, right? I said that the Democrats, the Republicans, everyone does bad things. But it's like y'all want us to badmouth Trump before you can like us or have a good faith conversation. After Rydell said what she said, oh, now I respect her. Right? I said the same thing Rydell said before she came in the room.
No, I heard
that we have to. Excuse me. No, you didn't. Was anyone here when I said we have to? Excuse me, Pure. Didn't I say we have to love each other no matter who the president is?
That's not what you
didn't I say?
I did practice it.
It doesn't matter. Yes, I practice it. Yo, excuse me, bitch. Excuse me, bitch. Shut up.
You practice it? Do you?
Shut up.
Jazzy, you trans?
Yes.
Okay.
Now listen, this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. We don't have to agree on everything, but one thing y'all not gonna do is bully me into a belief. Listen, I believe that Trump committed business fraud. I believe all businessmen do that, are millionaires, right? But once again, my politic is I don't want 99 people to escape committing crime and only 1 of 100 goes to jail while 99 escape free. That's what you all are willing to do regarding Trump. If Trump's gonna be in trouble, I want everyone that did the same thing Trump did to be in trouble, which is all of Congress. Why are they millionaires and they make $200,000 a year? Why did Nancy Pelosi do insider trading by buying all these shares of stock and electric cars and then giving tax credits to people to buy electric cars as an incentive? She made millions of dollars. That's called insider trading.
And he made billions.
1 second, I'm not done. Hold on, I'm not done.
Good Lord.
Martha Stewart went to jail for that. But you know who's not gonna go to jail? Nancy Pelosi. And that's what I'm not with. If one bitch gonna go down, I think they all should. And this is where the metric becomes a problem for me because I think you guys don't have a brain. You use your feelings to determine what's right and wrong. And that, my friends, is asinine. You're supposed to use facts. And the fact is, Nancy Pelosi committed a crime. Lock that bitch up. But that's the same old bitch talking about locking Donald Trump up for doing the same thing she did. No, there's a problem. There's a problem where you all are the real bullies. And you all are I thank God for the Trump presidency. It exposed you all are the real meanies, right? I'm responding to the mean responses I've been getting in the chat every time I talk. I didn't say shit to you, Ben. That's why I called you a dirty immigrant.
Yeah.
Because you said so much shit to me in the chat.
I didn't even talk.
You said so much shit to me in the chat. So the problem is you all can't take what you dish out.
That's right.
You can't take what you dish out.
Are you done?
And you're mad because I'm louder than you. Guess what? You don't get to be mean to me and I roll over.
But I didn't.
I'm gonna be mean to you too. And there's nothing you can do about it. Trump 2026.
Amen to that. Jazzy?
No, Ben. Let me throw a muzzle on that. Let me throw an egg of honesty out here, though, if we want to keep it real, and hopefully this will be interpreted as an olive branch. Because the thing is, one thing Jazzy said amongst a lot was true, was that Trump exposed just him being here, and everything that corresponded with him being here in the first place since 2016. It has exposed a lot about both sides. It has exposed a lot about our party in particular. You know, with all the rhinos and the fucking warmongers and shit like that. It exposed a lot of that back in 2016, and that's why the Republican Party changed. That's why you got so many people who ended up by default happened to be a Republican because they got nowhere else to go. You know, but you look at when you mention things like Nancy Pelosi, not just the one infraction, she's been doing this shit her whole career. Joe Biden and his son. Trump, Nixon, it goes back like it's been nonstop. Fucking Oliver North, back in the 80s, went to Congress and fucking testified, yeah, I did it, and then nothing happened. He went on the right books and got another comfy position. The problem is this. It's just like our behavior as voters, our same behavior we display as consumers. Right now, we are being ripped off with everything we fucking buy. We're getting less quality, and we're paying more. And in fact, they're having us subscribe to the majority of the shit we have to buy. Several car makers have attempted to try to make us subscribe to buying the car that we already bought. trying to force us to take our vehicles to their dealerships where they can't even get fixed because they don't have enough mechanics or mechanics with the skill to fix them. And then these same fucking car dealers, car makers are going to fucking our government and begging them to put into legislation more reasoned ways to fuck us over. This is the kind of shit that's going on and been going on. And the truth of the matter is, it's not going to stop until we collectively start boycotting with our dollars and our votes. And on top of that, there is something to say about bringing it to them. Like January 6th, everybody wants to jump on one side and say, oh, it was good, it was bad. But what it really was a display that, hey, you know what? You actually can pull up. You know that, right? Because the truth of the matter is, over 250,000, a quarter of a million Americans showed up to D.C. and the motherfucker's still standing. So you can't say that January 6th was like this big fucking, coup. Like the fucking DC.
It absolutely was.
No. Listen. No, that's not a gaslight. That's from pure historical observation.
No.
You let in any other country, you let a quarter of a million fucking people show up to the Capitol. It's gonna be fucking heads on.
No, it's not. It's happened in several countries. Go ahead.
Come on, man. You talking about a coup? Like, you motherfuckers don't know what a coup is, and at this point, would it really be that? At this point, would it really be that fucking bad? Especially with one side was completely implicit with letting fucking all the damn cities burn for the whole damn side.
Nobody's saying hang anybody.
Dude, man.
Bro.
Hang Mike Pence. You're making delusional.
Saying hang Mike Pence and Mike Pence is still walking today is two different.
Oh, because they didn't do it. Do you know what attempted murder is? Do you know what attempted murder is?
Attempted to murder.
Yeah, it's a fucking crime.
Let him land. I'm up now. I'm up now. I'm gonna start smoking y'all bitch ass niggas. I'm up now, nigga. Keep playing with me now. I'm up, nigga. I drop my coffee, nigga. I smoke my weed, nigga. I'm finna smoke y'all ass, nigga. Let's go.
Smoke it.
I'm crip. M.O.T. You mean G, I'm foe. Period. Nah, you said it right on crib. 6-0, nigga. I'm trying not to game bang right now, man. For real.
7-4 Nathan, what's up? Yeah.
Go ahead, though, man. I'm just giving y'all a fair warning, man. If y'all get to the pool, it was me. Don't say no other smoke at nobody else but me.
I'm just saying. Look, all I'm saying is, look, the olive branch. I'm not trying to make any side look any cleaner or dirty than the other. I'm saying that at this point, would it be that unreasonable how we are getting fucked over collectively for us to pull up? And I'm not saying no violent shit, but at this point, what are we to do when we voted in a president who voted for not going to war, and then where we at? At war. So I got gripes for my side too. But I'm just saying, like, nobody really wants to do nothing about voter fraud. That's why nothing's being done. And as much as I'm glad Trump brought this out to the forefront, nothing's going to get done about it. And the only reason he's doing it is because he needs to throw some shit out here for us. Like, yeah, he's doing something. He's throwing us a bone, and we need to take it for what it is. It's just a bone. It's a political move. Look, I'm doing something, but at the end of the day, when are we going to do something?
Exactly.
That's what I'm asking.
Let me just throw this in here, where I can find like the middle between both groups, because I know everybody's kind of like taking their sides. What if it turns out that Trump is the person that exposes just how fucked up the government is in general? That's all something that we can all agree on. That, okay, I'll go with you. That Trump has done some things wrong, obviously. And then we have the other side who has done a lot of shit wrong too. So Is there any way we can like meet there in the middle and like say the government is just fucked up? It's not looking out for us in any sense. What do you guys all say to that?
Where do you go from there in that question, Matt? Like, let's say you do agree on all that. Where do you go?
Well, that's why we're debating. That's what Blake was kind of like getting to. He's like edging on that a little bit. Now,
go after
he shows violence a little bit. He's like, well, that's why everybody ended up in the capitalism. But is there another way? That's up here. I don't know if you're off mic or whatever, but I don't know if there's another way to do it. And my point was either by accident or maybe I don't think Trump is that smart that he exposed all the bullshit the government is. And by the way, that's always been the case for me. I think the government has never had the interest for the most part for us at all as people. So
I think that it's great that we're having this conversation because, Matt, what ends up happening is if we're not both sides, disarming ourselves or pulling ourselves away from our affiliated party, right? Because this is, again, we're like party loyalism, I think, infiltrates all of us until we're able to have that conversation without the whataboutisms and then come up with real solutions, and people actually take the initiative to drive these to their congressional representatives, to take these to their senators. Nothing's going to be done. It's a bunch of people sharing a stage, having a great conversation, whether it gets heated, whether the discourse remains mutual, whatever. But yeah, if we can have a room without whataboutism and party loyalty, and no one's, dick sucking Donald Trump or Joe Biden, right? Let's just call it for what it is, or anybody or any president. I do believe an actual conversation can be had. But here's the question: can people have that conversation?
Yeah,
so
I don't know. Go ahead, here.
No, I don't think they can as it stands. To be quite frank with you, I think that's an excellent question. But what I've said for many, many, many years is that we need to restructure government when we vote for a representative, whether it be Democrat, Republican, Independent. All the votes count going across for the nominees. And that's how we keep on fucking ourselves, because there's a time where it comes that only a Democrat or a Republican is going to come through. But I think if we made them do everybody, I bet you more people would vote independent. What people are afraid of is throwing away their vote. So they don't know which way the current is swaying. So as opposed to throw away their vote, they're going to go Democrat or Republican as opposed to independent. Even if the independent ideation, for example, Bernie Sanders, serves their needs. So we need to restructure it whereby they have to give us what we really want and need. Right now, we're at even though we hire them, we're at their beck and call. Actually, we're at their mercy. They're not at ours, because we don't have a democracy right now.
Well,
we have to restructure it to where it really is a democracy.
Well, okay,
and other parties get a fair chance as well. I want to hear what you said. Let me just land, Christian. Where all parties get a fair chance at election, but right now all parties don't have a fair chance at election. Only the Democrats and Republicans do. What's up, Ms. Group?
I was going to say, I'd love to see an independent come in I think we actually have to have a third party sit in as a president to hit a restart for the nation. What do you guys think?
Well, I talked about this. I think it was last year when Elon Musk was talking about a third party, and I wrote a list of things. I'm going to pull up that list while I'm getting ready to say what I'm going to say. So basically, so number one, the country, the way that the country is structured by the Constitution of the United States, which is the supreme law of the land, the country is a Republican form of government. Because Daniel had brought this up earlier, and so just real briefly here, one half of Article 1, only a half of Article 1 is elected by popular vote. The U.S. House of Representatives that is based on population as well as how many congressional districts you're allowed to have in each state, and even the states draw their own maps. So you can't really count the U.S. House of Representatives. Then Article 2 is elected by the Electoral College, and even when we vote by popular vote, when we get to the general election, still the states have their own laws on how those electoral votes or certificates are sent to Washington, D.C. And then when it gets to the United States Congress, even then Congress still has to confirm those electoral certificates. Then Article 3 is only appointed by Article 2 and then confirmed by one half of Article 1. So we're not a democracy, not at all, not even close. And then this gets to the larger point or issue about how we don't control any of these variables. Yes, we do. We have a lot of control, but the problem is people have lives. They have an 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 job. They have kids. They have older adults they take care of. They have all these other things going on. They have multiple jobs, and they have a house and bills and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, it's still our country. But the vast majority of the public is not going to take on that kind of responsibility to say, okay, enough's enough. We need to throw out all the people that are in office. And even just as simple as not even freaking signing a politician's petition to get their name on the ballot. Like, we can't even do that. So we don't even have to talk about the primary. We can't even freaking stop people from qualifying because we got too many people who just sign a petition. And so that's a we problem. Among the primary, allowing somebody to get out of the primary, that's a we problem. And then allowing them to even win the general election, especially when it's an incumbent, that's a we problem. Those are all problems that we create. And then let's say, for example, because every state is different, but when you have homeowners that literally vote yes on property taxes, and then because they think that schools should have funding or whatever the case may be, roads, rail projects, trains, and all this other stuff, and then they wonder why their property taxes are going up and why they're getting ready to lose their home. That's a perfect example there of how us as citizens, we shoot ourselves in the own foot just by doing things that we shouldn't do. Then to this point about a third party. So like, for example, you have, in order to create a party, you got to have people inside that party or inside that committee, because a committee is basically a party. So to do that means that you've got to create infrastructure. You have to have committee men inside that committee. They have to, those people have to be registered. It has to be legit, all on the books. And then in order to do any of that, you have to gather physical signatures. You have to gather signatures in counties and states. Then you got to have ballot access. And then if you don't have ballot access, then it really defeats the whole purpose of that. But then we even had somebody in Arizona that even tried all of this. In Arizona, where they tried to create a party, actually 2 or 3 groups that tried to create their own party in Arizona, and they didn't have the signatures to even form the party because not enough people cared to create another party. So even after all of that, you still have to freaking do, I would even say 7 to 10 times the amount of work it would take to create a party than actually participating in what's already there. there. So either way, you're going to have your work cut out for you, because you're not going to just be able to just snap your fingers and say, oh, we got a new party, and now everybody's just going to fall in line and vote under this party. That's just not how it works.
Right. The question is...
And the last thing, one last thing, and then I'll be quiet. And we do call out our own party. I would be a sole example, because I called out our party. And what did they do? They expelled me out of the party. Why? Because I was coalescing a large amount of people across the whole state. That's why they expelled me out of the party. So, but again, you gotta have about 20 or even 40 of me to even create a party. If you don't have 20 or 40 of me, you're not gonna be able to do it. I'll land.
Jay, I know you wanted to speak.
For a long ass time, and please mind, make sure nobody interrupts me, because that was just a whole diatribe. First and foremost, we live in a two-party system. That's how it's been. That's how it's always been. It is a freaking fantasy, shout out to Mariah Carey, to think that we can all of a sudden have a third party. It ain't never gonna work. It is a beautiful dream and a fantasy, but we gotta live in reality. Democrat or Republican, pick a side, pick a tribe. That's the way that it works. What we need to do is make sure that we're putting in people that are going to represent our best interests. This idea about, so this is the problem that I had to the point that you asked earlier, Matt, about Trump, exposing the corruption. My problem with that is he doesn't have clean hands. There's a concept in law, about like your hands being clean. When you're bringing up a case or bringing up an issue, his hands are dirty, and they've been dirty way before he was in politics. So Trump exposing the corruption in the government is like, okay, you're not breaking news there, and you're exposing something, but then you're maximizing on what you're exposing. So it's like it's a bad faith situation. That's why I will always have smoke for Trump, because and this idea about, well, Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats or whatever, it's like, no, you're talking about apples and spaceships, not even apples and oranges. What Trump did with his grift, the crypto, the government contracts, his kids, his kids' husbands, and all this stuff, and the billions, not millions, billions of dollars that he has wrongfully gained from his role in presidency, while being a convicted felon, might I add, and voting somehow, which is, that's what he's exposed. It's absolutely absurd and ridiculous. That's what's asinine, okay? So I just really can't take the pearl clutching from Republicans about anything involving corruption. But to your point, Mrs., I would love to have good faith discussions about these things, about whether it's election integrity, election reform, restructuring to getting things back on track. I think that we just need to understand. This is the other thing. This idea that our elected officials and representatives do exactly what we want, that's just not true. You get a piece. You get some of what you want. It's called this idea, well, I elected them and they're, no, they're not just representing you. It's so narcissistic to just believe that you get everything that you want. And we voted in it. And when you're, once you get voted in, especially, actually really in whatever role, Congress, president, whatever, you're not just, and this is a very important point, right? You are not just, now once you have that seat, you're not just representing the people who voted for you. you jackasses. You're representing everyone. Okay, so when you're president, Trump, you're not just a president for MAGA. You're a president for everyone. And a lot of people don't think like you. They don't want your agenda. We don't want to be calling, Mexicans rapists and criminals and saying that dark-skinned Haitians are eating cats and dogs and demonizing people. And yet somehow the only immigrants that are welcome are white immigrants from South Africa. No, we don't agree with that at all. So I think, but yet we sit there and we stomach it because you know what? At least the Democrats actually concede when we lose. So yeah, there's a lot of things that need to be changed. But when we're dealing with the government the way that it is, it's step by step, and part of it is about making sure that we have people that are actually like, can we bring back character? Character matters.
Right.
It's not just about policy.
I gotta interject here. This is what's breaking my heart with what
Can I go after you right now?
Absolutely, Christian said. I hear so much defeatism in America when it comes to like not wanting a third party. Because look, I hear everybody, but this idea that we're gonna live in this mindset of defeatism, and really like. Christian, to back up to what Christian you were saying earlier, my question for you is when is enough for America to actually care? Because what this sounds like is there's a lot of there's no real education to the public on what needs to take place for a third party to be to be built and to be powerful and to threaten. We literally have no check and balance to a snake with two heads. That's what the Republican and the Democratic Party are. So, Jay, I have to actually say, no, fuck them both. I don't want to stick with one band. I'd rather be, I guess, maybe an isolationist. I don't know. So why is it that we as Americans are living in a state of defeatism when it comes to our political parties? Like, where did that come from? And why are we okay with that?
I think just really, wait, hold on one second, Christian. Just really quick. I think that I would agree with you. As a matter of fact, if it were up to me, I think we could throw them both out and start. And there's a lot of things that we could completely restructure. The reason why I don't think that that's a tangible reality is because these things have been discussed in one way or another for decades, long before you and I were even born. That's Project 2025. I mean, people have been planning these things, talking about third parties. For a long time. I think that it's a nice notion, but I would love to see, and this is what I would like to see, Mrs. I would love to see if we're gonna have, this discussion, try to actually activate it, I'd like to see an actual plan on how to really make that happen in a realistic way. Otherwise, it's just like a pretty.
So real quick, Mrs. DeGroot, what the problem is, it's basically sixth grade civics because you don't have a lot of people who fully understand how the government works and how people get elected and what political power actually is. And because they don't have that understanding, if you don't have the wisdom, then you're not going to be able to do something because you don't have the understanding that you need in order to achieve or accomplish what you want to accomplish. So, and I think that because people believe that life will go on no matter who's in office, they won't worry about it. It won't be a big deal. And then you ask, well, how bad does it even get? Well, I mean, I think it's going to get so bad to the point where it'll be too late. And that's just what it is. I mean, because you can't, you're not going to be able to put the rabbit back in the hat once things get bad enough. And then people say, oh, now we need to do something. Now we need to pay attention. It's just like in Loudoun County, Virginia, right? Most people thought, oh, it's no big deal. You can have transgenders and this. Oh, it's no big deal. We can teach children whatever material we want, LGBTQ, whatever. And then 2 girls got raped. All it took was 2 girls to get school district board. Then it mattered. So, maybe something similar to that, where it has to be catastrophic and terrible in order to get people to wake up, because otherwise they're going to just continue on the way that they are.
Why are we obsessed with trans people and LGBTQ? Like, look.
Okay, so you guys went on these like soliloquies that went on for a half hour and covered like broad-based topics. You asked, one was character. I'm going to argue that character is subject to whatever you identify as. It's an individual view, not an overall scope. If you're going to say like presidents like Obama and Bush had character, I would argue some of the lies that Bush told, and definitely some of the constitutional violations that occurred under Obama, including up to drone striking an American citizen. You mentioned that, Trump calling Mexicans rapists and et cetera, or whatever that quote was. He said that. He said they weren't sending their best. He absolutely acknowledged that, and he doubled down on it. There's no disputing those comments. However, you were quiet and cheered on when someone said half of America are a basket of deplorables. You cheered on when somebody said, those idiots that cling to their guns and Bibles are too focused. You scream at the top of your lungs about character when attacks are made on people's religion. And you say, oh no, they have to accept the Muslim community, but God forbid they belong to one of the Baskin-Robbins flavors of Christianity. You go up and protest against Jewish immigrants, saying that they're the problem because they're just Jewish Americans and their religion is a part of the problem and they need to be exterminated. So it's ironic when you want to talk about character, when you had Kamala Harris sit there and play both sides of the fence in Michigan, sitting there siding with Palestine, then turning around a week later going to Pennsylvania saying, I stand with Israel. And the people didn't show up. The people judged her character to be wanted. The Muslim community in Michigan said, fuck no, they didn't show up. So clearly your view on what character is vastly different from everybody else's, and that's fine. Mine's different from yours. As far as Trump goes and third-party candidates, you have third-party candidates. Bernie Sanders that you all hype up and say he would have been great for this country. First, you don't know that. In fact, he probably would have been more disastrous than any other president we've had in history. He probably would have caused record inflation, record shifts in your way of life that would have had severe impact, and you would have regretted it. You somehow paint this picture that what he said at college campuses, talking about like utopia, and quoting and mischaracterizing other nations around the world to the point where they had to come out and take out op-eds like such as Sweden, Norway, and all those Nordic countries where he was using their fiscal model. And then they came out and said, we're a market capitalist economy with 3 strong social programs, and we absolutely refute what Bernie Sanders is saying about us. He does not know our economic model. And you can go look that up, because multiple times, whatever presidents, whatever they call their leaders over there, had come out and stated as much to him. And in his second term, he kind of quieted it down on that after they gave him a full rebuke. And clearly, he didn't bother to actually learn those models. We do implement that. We do have a balanced economy. We're not pure capitalists and we're not pure socialists. We use a blended economy. If you don't know that, I don't know what to tell you. Go back to school, learn something, understand that. Look at where we spend our GDP. What's the most we spend it on? You'd probably be shocked. It's not the fucking military. Furthermore, as far as Trump goes, he is a third-party candidate. He's neither conservative nor a Republican. He was a lifelong Democrat who shifted over to the Republican side. Yes, I agree with some of his views, just as same as I agree with some of the other views under Democrats. I'm a lifelong conservative. I don't switch. I don't view Trump as a Republican savior or conservative savior. In fact, I haven't seen a conservative person since maybe Kemp. Kemp was probably the last one. None of those have ever actually embodied the values on it. And I lied. There was one other conservative. He was up in Montana and he was a congressman. But he sided with the Democrats on it. But conservatives used to tend to jerk between both aisles. So this idea that somehow or another Everybody's xenophobic because they don't want to import immigrants from Muslim communities en masse and have them overtake areas like Dearborn, Michigan, which has problems, or like St. Paul in Minnesota, which, guess what? Hate to tell you this to the minority groups in the room, they pushed you out. They threw you out. Walz didn't give you protections up there. Walz didn't say, hey, you know what? We're going to make sure you can afford your homes. In fact, he catered to who? The Somali refugees, and pushed you out en masse. And then when you have Americans are in need, especially during the pandemic, especially post-pandemic, that are still in questionable need because we shut down like 63% of all small businesses across the nation, these people didn't get the aid they needed. They're actually having to bow to, well, corrupt corporations, people who overtook, shitty Americans, also shitty foreigners, shitty immigrants, shitty refugees who were able to leech off of the system and take that en masse and take that from the benefits that could have been afforded to Americans. And now we're hoping to recover that so we could, guess what, redistribute it to Americans. But for that time being, everybody else has to go without. And when you look at conservatives or Republicans and say, we're sick and tired of these things, it's not the individual. We don't give a fuck about the individual at the top of the Republican ticket. They actually care about their communities more. They start there and then they build upwards. Whereas a lot of you are sounding like you want a federal authority to determine every facet of your day. And I don't want that. I think the federal government is way too powerful, and you keep advocating for more and more power to be awarded to the government. You believe Trump is a demigod, whether or not you're on the left or right at times, and you think somehow or another he's going to fix your day-to-day lives. Yet you'll vote repeatedly for the same twat waffles for 50 fucking years, like a Chucky Schumer. I mean, I was born in New York. Chuck Schumer hasn't done shit for New York. He hasn't really done fuck all. And in fact, he was one of those guys that used to suck Donald Trump's left nut while he was banging a fucking porn star. Why? Because he wanted money from Donald Trump. And that's how he won his campaigns. And you bring up things at him as a citizen, and imagine what you would be like if you were president and people brought up your shit in your past. And you would be fucking frustrated. You were a civilian. You were a citizen. Trump is not the worst president we have had. If he follows through with his investment in America to the tune of what he's saying, he'll be probably one that will provide financial stability for the country for a long time if he succeeds. He could fail. I don't know. It's not the end of his term. We'll see what he's able to accomplish. If he figures out the Iran mess, all right, great. But multiple presidents have tried that. Multiple presidents have failed. And it's not just they failed in America because someone will say Obama succeeded. No, Obama didn't really succeed. Joe Biden didn't really succeed. So none of these things really occur. And it's been a problem since Eisenhower's been in fucking office. So it's not like this region has been fraught with fucking peril. And then domestically, the price of eggs, price of this, price of that. Like, you're not bitching about the fact that China just bought Smithfield Foods, our largest food manufacturer in the fucking country. China owns it. Like, you're not upset at that fact. You're not screaming like, hold the fuck on. Why are they doing that? Like, you trust them? You trust that fucking government? But you claw and plod to that and say, oh, it's because it was a Democrat invention by Joe Biden's administration to actually usher them in to have more investments into America. Remember that little San Francisco where they moved all the homeless, cleaned the shit off the streets, and then rolled out the red carpet for the CCP? That part. You miss those things. You're missing the bigger picture through the forest and the trees, and you're worried about a two-party system. Every other term is a new party. Clinton reimagined the Democrat Party. Obama reimagined. He was an outsider. He was a community fundraiser who became president. He had no legs to stand on. He was absolutely nothing. And he was an outsider. And oh, by the way, he did a lot of things with that Republicans like, such as immigration. He deported the most people. He had the most ICE arrests out of all the presidents. He had most. And yet somehow that's lost in the sauce because you can't realize that, hey, maybe, just maybe, the two-party system is, yeah, it's corrupt, it's bullshit, but at the end of the day, if the guy's leading the ticket that I believe in and the majority of his views or at least some of his policies are in alignment and he can push that agenda, maybe I should go with it. Maybe I should sit back and watch. maybe that revision that you're looking for may occur with this guy. You don't
Brad,
know.
didn't
Like,
he stop them from bombing Palestine too?
Yes, and let's not forget, like every president before him was bitching about NATO's and treaties and tariffs around the world and being exploited by the rest of the world. We all were bitching about it before Trump came down.
Didn't have the balls to do anything, Brad, to be honest.
Yeah. And I'm not saying Trump did it the right way, but at least he did something. At least he had the balls to lay it out there and say, I'm going to do this. You may not like it. It may not feel great. It may not even be correct. But at least for the first time and since fucking, I don't know, ever I've been born, that we're tired of getting fleeced over, that Americans were taking American priority. And I kind of agree with that. I mean, I can't stand it. And I definitely do not like fucking Canadians or other people from other countries coming in there telling me about my domestic issues. And while I'm looking at their country going, what the fuck are you talking about? Have you looked at your economic picture? Have you looked at what's going on? And they tell me that I gotta go fucking free Iranians over there and give my blood, my sons and daughters for some fucking freedom, or I have to go over there and do this, or I have to worry about this group or that group.
Like, when does this end?
Hey, you got to go on for 10 minutes,
Calm down, JJ. Calm down.
Gee, Chris, you're going on for 5 hours. Hey,
You've spoken longer than.
Hey, dude,
Coco, can you calm down, Coco?
Yeah.
wait,
Calm down.
I sat down and listened to you guys for hours.
No, that's literally not true. You have Trump's time. You got one of them
I got
watchers.
So here, I'm going to do
You
this.
spoke longer than me.
And you're going to bitch about the LGBTQ movement? I'm going to say this. Conservatives
No, you're bitching about it. It's
that.
good.
They didn't give a damn about you, whether you wanted to play tummy sticks or fucking Red Rover, put it in my ass. They didn't give a fuck about that shit.
That seems like a fetish you have.
There were gay Republicans. There was a ton of them. You know what they cared about was the fact that now you wanted to sit there and introduce it to schools. Now you wanted to fucking talk to 4-year-olds about homosexuality. They got tired of having queer story art. And in fact,
guess what?
Nothing more than just to have it. They didn't like gay pride parades where guys were riding bicycles around with fucking dildos on the handlebars.
Who cares?
You know what? They did care. They voted en masse and told you to go fuck yourself.
No,
because
they told
broke the blue wall, took every swing state there was.
We live in
And America's sick of y'all, and that's a fact. Trump is a response to the bullshit. He's a response to you saying, fuck your kids. You said, fuck your kids. You said, fuck. I was talking.
No. I was.
You didn't get in there quick enough.
She can go.
When Brad stopped,
I'm going to give it to
you didn't get in there
Jazzy.
quick enough, bro.
You don't give shit.
You didn't get in there quick enough.
You know I do.
You didn't
I
get in
can
there quick
drag
enough.
I can drag my balls over your face. I accept there's a difference.
No, nobody wants your little micro balls jacked anywhere.
You know what? Micro balls are still balls.
You can keep your little peanut somewhere else.
I got it. You know what? Follow that model. Keep your little penis away from the kids. We like that model.
No.
You literally just said keep your kids at home and homeschool them. We don't care. Keep your kids at home so they don't learn gay stuff. I don't want my kids to learn about sex, period, with straight people, gay people. Hey, listen, sex should not be a... No, now you're about to... Hello? Guys, he's talking about my kids and their mother. Come on, bro, stick to the topic. Stick to the topic. You don't have to do personal insults. I didn't insult you. I didn't insult you.
No, you interrupted.
What I did say was you were tired of the rhetoric.
I don't give a fuck. You wanted to go interrupted for fucking 10 minutes, and now you feel fucking paid. I don't give a fuck.
You interrupted me.
You interrupted me.
After
and then you
Brad.
decided, okay, this is like, go fuck yourself. Now you'll never get to talk on yourself.
Okay, JJ, can I just talk?
I'll continue to do this shit.
JJ, just let me speak, bro.
What's up, Viking, to shut the fuck up?
Bro, I can't do that. I'm asking you.
You can shut up, Jay. You can put that dick back in your mouth.
Okay, Brad, can I talk to JJ real quick?
No, he interrupted me so I'm not letting you.
No, I don't
Okay.
think so. We're just gonna be like
I'm going to show you what oppression looks like on an audio.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to make you a bitch. I'm going to make you a bitch. You're going to hold my pocket.
No.
You are. You're going to hold my pocket. Dude, you're going to wash my feet, too. You're going to clean my laundry. You're going to make me a sandwich.
No,
You're going to make me peanut butter and jelly. I want blueberry jelly. I like my fucking peanut butter sweetener. I like how you put the Sprite in between your eyes.
I promise, Brad, I'll be really quick. Okay, JJ, he stopped talking. JJ, hold on 1 second. I just want to say this, right? Trump is the president until he's not. And unfortunately, that is in 2 more years. If you guys could just hang in there for 2 years, he'll be gone. But I promise you what won't be gone is the same rhetoric about the right and the left. Donald Trump is a Democrat. He was not a Democrat up until he ran for president. So if you've agreed with Democrats before 2016, you were on Donald Trump's side, right?
And he basically was trying to get that dick.
Yeah, has he committed business fraud? Has he committed business fraud?
You laughed at that, Coco.
Yes, he's committed business fraud. Is Donald Trump, I'm almost done. Is Donald Trump all of your presidents, even though you don't like him? Yes. Am I scared of y'all because y'all want Donald Trump to die? Yes. And I think that you all need to do a little self-reflection. You started talking about the way that I mother my children based on me responding to a comment you made about keeping our kids at home. You said my kids don't learn shit if I'm their mom.
Well, Jazzy, you have to cry about that.
She's not done talking, dude. You're not.
I don't give a fuck what you say. Shut up. Like it.
So I got you, Groom.
Guess what? If my son grows up and he decides to be a hardcore Republican-hating fool, I'll love him.
Good.
Anyways, and let me tell you one more thing. I'm almost done. Can you stop ad-libbing? Please.
Go ahead.
I know I could go. I don't need you to tell me.
I don't need you. Just Jazzy.
Yo. And Democrat, happy whole black boy.
Now you're Jamaican. Now you
Fuck it. I'm about to say something. You better shut up talking to me with your gay ass. This is why I don't like gay men. All you do is pounce down on women and then you turn around and yell at everybody else. Calm down. Well, Coco, don't start now. Please. Don't start. Now, once again, my son will be gay. Did you guys? Why are the fucking moderators? Hello?
Oh, wait, now you want your moderators to come save you?
This nigga just said my son is gonna be gay.
Yes, I don't need to say that.
If they won't moderate, bitch, I'ma drown you the fuck up on my big mic, nigga. That's where that's gonna go. Maybe you moderate me from fucking at your ass, bitch. But I'm gonna take your little gay ass or something. You can ruin the Democratic Party with your dick-loving ideology. You love dick so much, you threw the Democrats in the trash. And now we have you as a catalyst for the Democrat Party, bitch. I don't think so, nigga. I think you're a dirty, chili back, booty leaking fiend. Right? I really think that you niggas have ruined the country. If I'm gonna let a gay man lead me, it's gonna be a good gay man like Obama. It won't be a bottom faggot like you. It's a fact. Only good gay men. Not you.
You're a lesbian. Welcome to the community, bitch. Welcome.
Can we just get along? No.
Because we got homophobic ass bitches like
I just said I fuck with Obama. I don't fuck with your gay ass.
Obama's
I fuck with Coco. I don't fuck with you.
Obama's not gay.
You're a fucking condom. You just talked about my son. You're weird, bro. You're done here. And all of you motherfuckers that just sitting back letting this nigga talk about my son finna be gay, you're weird as fuck too. Fucking faggot gonna put circuitry on my son. And guess what? If my son is gay, I'm still gonna love him. Does that piss you off? That I won't treat my son any different if he's gay? Does that make you mad too?
No, I think you should.
Does that make you mad?
That's what's called being.
That I love gay people? I just don't like you. You just so happy to be gay, right? You just so happy to be gay.
Yes.
The fuck?
Fool. gay and beautifully gay.
Thank you. She's such a hater and a homophobe.
All on the end is gay now. It's gay.
Girl, I don't want to hear from nobody with no accent about no American politics. Please, what country you from? What country you from? All you do is call people names. I don't give a fuck. You call me a name no matter what I say, bitch. You call me it. Xenophobic, racist, homophobic. Guess what? I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
You actually sound like a fucking seagull. You need to stop with your consistent talking to no one, bitch.
She needs a hug.
Fortunately, she does.
It's so annoying.
Good gays only. 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 Hey, yeah. Good gays only. Good gays only.
Dumb bitch. It doesn't have to rhyme. You're dumb.
Americans only. Americans only. Americans only. Good gays only. Americans only. Americans only. Good gays only. Good gays only.
Right now. You're dead to me. You're a worm, dude. You're dead. You're a complete bitch.
Because you know who's a homophobes? They get gay children. So
Americans only. Americans only. Good gays only. Good gays only.
You sound like
oh.
Good gays only.
Who is choking the cat?
What you gotta say?
This bitch is choking a cat.
Yes.
Anyways.
No shade. I'm gonna be singing this all fucking day, bro.
Americans only. Americans.
Jesus. Imagine.
Good gays only.
Like
Good
really
gays
imagine.
only.
Imagine if all the women in America took over like the world. It would be like the worst life ever. Everybody would get discriminated on subconsciously. Like seriously, because American women go, "Hi, how's it going?" when they really go, "Fuck off, bitch," in your head. Hey, oh my gosh, I'm what you wearing?
Americans only. Americans only. Good gays only. Good gays only.
They love to smile in your face and talk behind your back. They're fucking such gossipers. Oh my god, I wish I was American. I can't wait to be American gossiping bitch like you. Hello?
Oof.
I was letting you go, girl. I'm bored.
So bored. I'm like bored yesterday. Like, hurry up already.
I'm black. I don't talk like that.
I told you I was like the fluffy space princess. No one believed me. Oh my god.
This is why universal health care is important, so that Jazzy can get her medications. Because clearly she is out of stock. She needs a refill. Refill that bitch.
So now you're doing what they did to Kanye. You're trying to make me mentally insane.
Oh, so you bipolar too?
I'm bipolar from singing? I'm singing the song.
That makes sense.
I have to keep. You want me to keep singing forever? I'm trying to sing.
You can sing it
I'm
on key.
bipolar because I stopped singing.
You can sing on key.
I'm bipolar because I don't want to argue with you no more.
No.
That makes me bipolar. You want me to keep going like a man, right? Because you're gay. You don't know what women really do. Let me explain to you what women do. Women argue for a little bit and then we stop. Okay, I'm done with you. You're a man that I'm not sleeping with or procreating with. I have nothing else to argue with you about. I'm not interested in sucking Donald Trump's dick all day. That's boring, right? This country needs to be fixed. I'm ready to get rid of all the players in the government, all the old people. They need to go, and we need to start over. What do you want to argue about? I don't want to argue.
Throw some shade.
Get rid of Trump first. That's the old person that you need to get rid of. Throw his ass out.
He's not the first one, and that's the sad part that you think that.
But you can't get rid of Trump. He's gay too.
Oh.
See? Oh, I thought she was. Now, see, this was your sister on your side about the homophobia, right? Now Trump is gay too.
No, well, there's nothing wrong.
I mean, that's negative way. Trump is gay too. What's wrong with being gay? What's wrong with being gay, sis? Sis, what's wrong with Donald Trump is gay? Why are you laughing? Because y'all are weird. You use gay when you want to as a negative connotation, right? Because you calling Trump gay is not a positive thing, right? Him being gay would be negative. How is that okay coming from your gay ass mouth? You just called me a homophobe for calling you gay. That is so stupid. Now it's okay for Trump to be gay and a negative. That's what I'm saying about y'all. Y'all push people further and further and further into Donald Trump's arms. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. Step one. Let a gay man talk for the Democratic Party. That's number one. That's step one to getting me to run to Donald Trump's arms.
I'm voting for the
I need a straight heterosexual male that leads the black community to talk for us.
in the closet.
Not you, AJ.
Closet type men to lead us. We don't need in the closet type woman to
Oh,
lead.
I can't even hear your dumb ass. What the fuck are you talking about? Thank you, Jesus.
Hey, Matt. Matt,
Put
limits on how loud your mic can be on stage, please. Can you?
I got moderation now, but before JJ was talking about my kids, so I had to get on my big mic.
Oh yeah, use the small mic, please.
No, I was talking about your lack of
I don't give a fuck what you was talking about, bitch. Don't bring up my kid, because if you keep getting fucked in the butt, you can't have no kid. You know, that's not how procreation works. That nigga that's coming in your asshole, he's not making no babies. So don't talk about nobody's kids, bitch. You can't have none. At the rate you're going, you got to switch it up and get up from the bottom to have children.
Oh, Lord.
Cordell, it's good to see you.
Go brush your teeth.
Are you good?
It's giving halitosis.
Did we like Trump's speech last night? It was one of his shortest ones. I was kind of surprised by that. Usually he is more verbose than he was, but I appreciated the brevity.
Low energy last night.
No, it wasn't a rant, JJ. Do y'all want to go over the
Don't argue with
highlights?
no gay man and no immigrant about American politics.
You're a whole lesbian.
Yeah, I'm gay. I eat pussy.
I've got a bullet point
Very
summary
nasty,
of this
too.
speech if anyone's interested.
Monica, we already went through the nightmare. Please don't do it again, please.
This is the topic of the room. Are you not interested in discussing that?
Last night.
Monica, can you tell me why Georgia stopped counting votes, Monica? Why did Georgia stop counting votes when they were supposed to keep counting votes in 2020?
I don't know.
Oh my God,
Okay.
we're still relitigating that. This has been litigated 60
Well, actually,
times.
that's how I know you didn't watch the speech last night. That's what
60
it was about.
times. And
That's
they
what
have
the
found
speech was
nothing.
about.
I'm gonna ask. I don't have
Well, you
Clubhouse
can't
open.
find anything when the
bullet points.
you
of
can't
the
find
last
anything
night
when the
open. Can I get some
allegation.
guidance from the moderators.
Yeah, like, hey, you can't find anything when the allegation is that they stopped counting votes. That's all Trump ever said. He never said anything else. And they did stop counting votes.
So what? It doesn't change the outcome.
It does change the outcome. Why would you not count every vote that you got?
You shouldn't be arguing with nobody like that, Jazz, if they gonna say that.
Exactly. Okay, thank you, Sport. Like, what do you mean? Oh, it doesn't matter. It does matter if they stop counting
It
votes.
doesn't matter because literally what Trump wants
They
is to be
stop
advocating
counting
for-
votes, asshole. That's all that matters.
Y'all take 5 more minutes and wrap that up so that way Mona can go. Yeah,
Five more
I'm
minutes.
wrap it up now. Use that nigga. Use that nigga. I'm done. Go ahead, Monica. Go ahead, Momo.
I'm outside the store. I need to buy paper towels.
Go
Good
ahead.
morning. Welcome to President Trump House. Your fearless leaders, Beaver and Matt, are in control, and they have a strong mod panel with Sword, Himothy, and right out. I wanted to go through a bullet point list of Trump's speech yesterday. Opening on national recovery, Trump stated the U.S. is now safer, stronger, and wealthier than ever. He contrasted this with situation with 2 years prior, inheriting an economic and social disaster with high inflation, open borders, high crime, transgender for everybody in sports, and international disrespect. Economic achievements were noted with record investments in employment, stock markets, and retirement accounts at all-time highs. Largest monthly inflation decline in over 6 years. Tax cuts via the Great Big Beautiful Bill. No tax on tips, overtime, or Social Security. Interest deductions for American-made cars. 100% expensing for businesses. Prescription drug prices dramatically reduced 70 to 90% under most favored nations policy. Directed viewers to TrumpRx.gov. The Trump accounts, a reminder for us to invest in our littles. Tax-free investment accounts for every child. You can sign up at TrumpAccounts.gov. Border security, borders now most secure in U.S. history. He stated 0 illegal aliens admitted in the past 14 months. I don't know if that's substantiated by data. I don't know how we could know that 0 people crossed our borders.
Yeah.
But it's probably, he referenced the border checkpoints, that no illegals were allowed through the border checkpoints. So I think
that's the only way we can measure it, Monica.
Right.
Is by that.
Right. A couple more points. Crime plummeting, murder rate at the lowest level since 1900s. Military foreign policy. Record investment in armed forces, the strongest military in the world. Successes in Venezuela now producing oil for and with the U.S. and ongoing wins with Iran. I'm sure that's contested by some of the mod panel, the speaker stage panel. Final wrap up. Major announcement about election integrity, call for urgent action to ensure fair elections. That should be a motivating force for every American. I don't think I want people who are not eligible to vote in our elections. I don't think they should have an opinion on how our country goes, but I'm still sure there are people that are going to fight that for some reason. Immediate declassification and release of intelligence documents, and those are available at whitehouse.org. And then the China claims that they compromised about 220 million U.S. voter files, and they sought to undermine the 2020 presidency and campaign.
Monica, why do you think? Monica. I have a question for Monica. Let's tackle the Georgia elections, okay? Monica, why is Georgia lying as if Trump has an issue with a machine counting ballots versus hand counting ballots when his whole argument was they stopped counting over 50,000 ballots that were inputted before the cutoff time? Do you want to walk down that road, Monica?
Jazzy, actually, you probably have a better grasp on it than I do. How about I give you the mic? Why do you think that is?
Oh, no, I talked a lot. I want someone else to talk, but I just don't know why these people are okay. Yeah, Naveen, go ahead.
Yeah, so Jazzy, there's also in Georgia as well. The decree in 2020, do you remember that? You and I spoke about this. We were signed with, he said that he would put up more ballot boxes, and but everyone would pick up those boxes, drop boxes, and whenever someone picks it up, they would have to sign that they picked it up. Otherwise, the ballots wouldn't count, and they agreed, and blah, blah, blah. And then he sued in 2021 after the election, after saying nothing was invalid, blah, 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 saying that there were 20,000 ballots that didn't have a chain of custody of who picked it up. Well, per those rules, he should have thrown it out. And he went into that agreement without going to a state legislature, and the whole state Republican. So, I mean, it is atrocious what occurred, and what happened with this deep date. You're right about they want to make it seem like it's a machine out and everyone stops and the tally changes. Do you remember that, Jazzy? Right? The toilet went out, right? Someone took someone took a dump and the whole thing got flooded, and so they had to stop the count. Everyone left, and then suddenly they come back, and Trump's winning decisively, and then suddenly they come back.
Didn't leave though.
Hold on, Coco. I keep trying to tell you they stopped. Bro, I don't care what they say today. I remember when they were counting the ballots, they said there was a flood and they had to stop counting the ballots. So I don't care what they're telling you today. I know for a fact what they said. They couldn't count.
Exactly.
And now they're telling you that Trump, and I'm not going to lie. Hold on one second. Hold on. Trump would look very stupid. 1 second, Coco. Trump would look very stupid if what y'all are saying, he's arguing about hand counting votes over a fucking machine. That is not the problem. The problem is they stopped counting votes altogether. And y'all don't seem to care. JJ just said he don't care. He said it wasn't enough to change the election. You said it wasn't enough to change the election. You admitted that they stopped counting ballots.
People still have ballots while other people live. Still counting ballots. And he was arguing about the people that did not stay to count the ballots. So that lets me know, Jazzy, that you do not really know about the case or the issue. Because even Trump said that wasn't the argument that's being made, my love.
You know what?
Even Trump's not making that argument because there was people still. That was the whole reason why he was saying it was.
They stopped counting ballots. They stopped counting ballots. That's the bottom fucking line. That's all Trump cared about. All this other new shit is irrelevant because it's made up by the state of Georgia. You know, none of these states will ever come back from the fraud that happens during elections. Case in point, Florida. They always know we have voter fraud. Do they ever fix it? No, they don't fix it. They don't go back and say, hey guys, that election was not integral. Or the integrity of that election was compromised by the fraud we have in the state of Florida. No, they don't give a fuck. They keep allowing fraud. And y'all are okay with it. You don't want Trump to talk about it. Well, how about me? Can I talk about it? I'm here to tell you, there's voter fraud every year and y'all don't give a fuck. I agree with Brad. This shit is unraveling your psyche because you thought you knew the way this country works and you had no motherfucking idea. You thought this shit was fair. You thought this shit was just. No, you didn't, Coco, because you know the niggas that like because you was black, right? They're talking about it all the time. So is the country fair and just? Is Trump trying to change a great country that allows black people to just walk around and do whatever they want? You know, you say the world is racist, right? So all I'm trying to say is you're an idiot. They stopped counting ballots. 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 They stopped counting. They stopped counting ballots. They stopped counting ballots.
No, they didn't.
They stopped counting. They stopped counting ballots.
Then she'll act like a fucking victim. This is why I can't with fucking conservative ass, masculine ass fucking bitches.
They stopped counting. Yo, he just called me a bitch. They stopped counting.
Yes,
they stopped counting ballots. They stopped counting. Oh, you weren't here earlier, right? Girl must be busy. She moved Coco for calling me a bitch earlier.
Let me ask you. So, I got a question.
Yeah, I know you don't, faggot.
Your friend's in the goo too. I don't know. Why don't y'all make Jazzy a moderator and she
No.
Jazzy a moderator, I'm out.
Nah. I know you gonna get kicked out, bitch. You don't wanna leave. I'm gonna escort your faggot ass out the door, bitch. And I hope the door hits you where the good Lord split you not to get fucked in your ass, but that's what you do anyways with it, right? I hope the door hits you right in your loose booty, bitch. That's a fact. Faggot. Faggot.
Can we go back?
Faggot. You're a fucking faggot. Dirty faggot.
Oh my god, your son's a faggot. I'll see him at Pride very soon.
JJ, stop. JJ, I know you don't trust Trump. I know you don't respect him. I know you think he's bad for the country.
Yeah.
I know you don't respect or value or appreciate conservatives. Is there anything that the conservatives have done lately that you like, hey, maybe that was the right thing to do? Nothing?
That's an interesting question.
He's a dumb fucking doo-doo butt bitch. He can't think for all the doo-doo he has to escape out his asshole for his boyfriend to fuck him on a daily basis. Nigga spends his life on the toilet, shitting out what he has to fucking escape so he can fuck. Imagine not being able to have sex because you gonna shit all over the place. Nasty ass motherfucker. You're nasty, nigga. You're nasty.
I don't think Jazzy's gonna let you answer the question.
Yeah, because guys are gonna be running a train on our fucking son, bitch.
Well, you had it on
No family, guys. Come on.
No, well, then she shouldn't bring it up. She should shut the fuck up.
She didn't bring
I'm
up
done with
family,
that
bro.
bitch. I smack bitches like that.
Just
I don't care.
You will never smack me. I will shoot you.
I don't care.
The moment you lift your hand up to hit me, I will put a bullet right in the motherfucking head, bitch. It's called self-defense. Ain't no man finna hit me, bitch. I don't care how gay you are or how loose your booty is. You would never put your hands on me. And if you did, I'll be the last bitch you touch. That's a fact.
It's called offense. I'm quicker than you.
Right now? Are you there? Hello? Right now?
Listen, hit me if you want to, you faggot, bitch. Like I said, you'll be dead. Don't touch me, and you're gonna live. That's simple. What Carmelo said, touch me and see what happens. Slap me and see what happens, bitch. That's a fact. Stop fucking playing with me on this stage. Enough is enough, you fucking sensitive faggot. Enough is enough. You're not gonna put your hands on me, bitch.
No, your son's probably
faggot. I'm a woman. Did you forget you're not a woman, bitch? You fucking dirty, twisting faggot. I don't care. Watch your fucking mouth, bitch. You're a bitch.
He's gone. So, yeah, I mean, so Jazzy, we were talking about Georgia. So, I mean, it's interesting what occurred there. Also what happened in Michigan, right? Suddenly they're like, okay, well, there's another drop. And then suddenly you see trucks moving towards the facility to drop it off. Like, that was real at midnight. You saw that happening, and I watched it on TV, and CNN and everyone showed it. Clips of trucks showing up saying, oh, these are all the mail-in ballots that show up. And it's like, so you receive a dump late at night that you go through, right? And it's interesting because someone took a dump in Georgia and everything stopped, and now a dump comes in Michigan. And, the problem in all this stuff is, right, first of all, if all those ballots came in, why did we have to wait for them to come? Why weren't they there right away, right? Why were they somewhere else holding and they showed up? They should have been there on that day, but no, they said, okay, well, we're waiting until midnight. We just got to drop. Well, how does that happen? How does that ballots come in at midnight? Post office doesn't work. It means they were sitting somewhere, which means you had them, which means you could have counted them, which means you waited to see where you were and then said, do I need to count them or not? Oh, you know what? I need to count them now to help me. That's shady. And by the way, here's a question that no Dem can answer. How come 1 million plus more people voted in 2020 and for this to get rid of the same evil Donald Trump? They didn't come in 2024 to get rid of the same evil Donald Trump. They were so motivated to get rid of the evil Donald Trump in 2020, but in 2024, those same people weren't motivated. Where were those people? What happened to those people? Why isn't nobody finding out or doing an autopsy to find out, hey, what happened to that million people? Will they ever show up again? Where are they? Who are they? I mean, incredible. Or do you just not care? And if you don't care, that's fine. And we know what you said.
I care, Naveen, but unfortunately, these people don't. You can ask Matt earlier. I asked a question because I was talking about the voter fraud, and none of them said anything. Some lady brought up Elon Musk buying a specific county for Trump to win an election instead of addressing me talking about voter fraud.
The same thing. I bet you that person didn't talk about Mark Zuckerberg doing the same 2020. Oh shit! So
Yeah.
I mean, these are the things. And the other thing, Jazzy, that I'm seeing now on Shitter is, well, just remember all the stuff Donald Trump is talking about. He was president during it, so is he the one that let China come in? And it's like, well, hold on. So Donald Trump isn't on the computer receiving the intelligence. Well, he didn't put the right people in charge, and that's gaslighting the American people, because you're in these jobs, and when you're in there and you're a tenured employee, you don't get fired. You're in there forever, regardless of your political views. You're in there, and so you could do whatever the hell you want, and it's hard to fire you. It's hard to find that. Plus, they don't do political tests, so most of them don't know who you are. So you can do whatever you want. So just because he comes in, what he didn't do the first time, which he should have done, was gut the entire government and put in new people at all levels, including lower levels. But you don't do that, right? Vivek Ramaswamy talked about that. He said, just do a mass gutting, right? But then you have a problem where people don't know how to use the systems. There's a training issue. There's all that stuff. So, this is the problem. And so you have lifelong people that are minting money because they're getting the government benefits for life and their tenures, and they're getting all this stuff and pensions and all that. These are major issues, and those are the people who wrote those emails that Donald Trump shared that the media never covered. The other thing that no one's covering, Jazzy, and I don't know if they did before, is the fact that Donald Trump alleged, and he apparently had evidence that came on there, which I didn't go through yet, that the media was paid, the media journalists were paid by China to cover certain things a certain way. Isn't that incredible?
Very incredible. For example, I don't know, Naveen. I quit.
Well, hold on, Jazzy. The same people bitching that, Israel bought our election. Well, okay, then they should be the same people with the same moral compass should come and say, holy shit, you know what? China bought the previous one. We got to stop any country. No, they're not willing to say that. So their issue is, I'm okay if China buys it. I'm just not okay if Israel does it. That's wrong. Either be consistent or say you don't care either way, and that's fine. That just shows that you're not a patriot and you don't care about our country at all.
They really don't. It's the inconsistencies for me, and that's what I'm saying. This guy has been calling me all types of names, and when I match the energy, now he mad. Yo, this is called life. You don't get to insult people because you don't know what you're talking about, right? You got proven to be emotionally driven, not fact driven. None of y'all are fact driven, because if you were, you would say, hey, I'm not going to vote at all. Fuck all these people. They all going to do something I don't like. I didn't vote for Trump because I 100% like him. He's not my idol. He was the best of the two candidates. The only other choice I had was to not vote. That's it. And I don't understand. I should not be called a name because of who I vote for, just like you should not be called a faggot because you take dick in the butt. But I'm going to call you one every time you insult me. Then he said he was going to slap me. I said, I'm going to shoot him. Oh, she said she's going to shoot me. Yeah, in response to a man slapping me. You're a fucking man. Right? You guys just need a little bit more logic. Naveen hit it on the head. A lot of us did. There was voter fraud in the form of not including ballots that were casted before the cutoff time. If I cast my ballot before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and it wasn't voted, that is counted, that is fraud. But you guys don't think that's fraud. It's fraud. And it doesn't matter if the margins weren't enough to move to make Trump win. That's irrelevant. Every vote should be counted. I don't care if Trump was going to lose still. The vote should be fucking counted. You should be able to go back and track your vote. You can't. And that's a problem. So if y'all don't think that's a problem, that's fine. But let's leave this, take it away from the Trump aspect. Let's just look at the integrity of the voting system. Mark Zuckerberg, as he said, received millions of dollars to post ads on Facebook to get people to believe something or a lot of things that weren't true. So, this isn't about Trump. It's about voting integrity. What don't you understand? And I don't think California, because they have more people, or population should have a say. Their fucking gas is $7. They can't even afford houses in the hood of California. The fuck? They're living in and you want them to decide the fate of the country? That's what I'm saying. You guys are stupid, and where most of the people live in this country are stupid. It's a bunch of fucking regionally stupid assholes. Fucking the most amount of homeless people in a nation, and you want me to let them dictate how this country is ran? You want me to let a New Yorker dictate how the country's ran? Because they got more idiots? Mass numbers of fucking retards? Make it make sense. And every time y'all go too far, right, everybody's gonna leave. You can say I killed the room. I think these people realize they're dumb and they have to go. It's embarrassing to be this fucking stupid. Embarrassing. Well, since no one's talking, I'll talk to you baseball because I don't want to type. But I tried to use that link to track my vote. For example, like let's say in the governor election or whatever, it only tells you like your status and like the precinct you're supposed to vote at, the district you're in, stuff like that. It doesn't like what I mean is you should be able to track your vote. Like whatever ballot you cast, it should show up personally for you if you enter like some information. But that link, it does show you like your voter status though.
My bad. I had to resume my job duties, but yeah, just to remind people that it was people still counting the ballots in Fulton County, just so everyone be aware.
Okay, baby boy. Thank you. Do you have proof of that?
Yes, it's a claim that Trump made himself.
What claim?
That's the reason why he was making a fraudulent claim, is because some people stayed, some people left. Some people stayed, some people left. And with that being said, that was the claim. So my only thing is, you're saying that the entire arena was like evacuated or something, and I'm saying that that was not the case. There was people that still stayed behind during all of that commotion and still counted ballots.
So listen, this is the thing. They're claiming, and I'm reading this, they said there was no fraud done, but there were ballots that were left to count, and they didn't count them. They said they did not just stop at 10 o'clock and go home. They processed, tabulated, and reported everything they had available to process, and did not post those immediately. They said all the ballots were not available to them, so they counted everything they had, which means that there were other ballots.
What?
Right? They said they counted.
Who are they?
This is a claim from Russell Bridges, a Chatham County election supervisor.
Is that something?
What I'm trying to tell you is, he says right here, I'm quoting what he says, they did not just stop counting. They counted all the ballots that were available to process. And this is due to the flood, by the way. Right? And they did not post those results until approximately 11:15. But there were still a number of ballots. Thank you. Have a good one. Thank you. There's still a number of ballots that they did not process because they were not available. Once it started flooding, they moved the ballots to save them, and they never got the ballots back.
So where's that claim?
So that listen. What Georgia is saying is, it doesn't matter. It's not fraud. And I get what you're saying. Guess what? It might not be fraud. Maybe there's another word for it legally, right? That we're not understanding or grasping.